Good morning. Well, it's about 9:30 in the morning here. I'm currently looking at the Ambra Kikos Wetlands National Park. I just stopped here to have some breakfast. Here with Dodo and Cam. We're having some coffee and some breakfast this morning because we wild camped again last night, and so we packed up pretty early this morning and have been on the road for a couple of hours now. And yeah, just been looking for somewhere good to stop and have some breakfast. I was looking for a little cafe to get some espresso, but unfortunately nothing seems to be open around this time. So it's alright, I've got my own. But yesterday was, as I was saying in my last video, I was, I had stated the intention of having a rest day, but I think internally I hadn't really accepted it because I didn't really. I basically rode all of yesterday anyway, so there was no rest day. Although my butt is starting to get a bit sore, so I think I really do need to take it a bit easy at some point soon to give my butt a bit of a rest anyway. But yeah, look, it was just a really, really nice day and lots of riding. It was just on the coast all day. There was a few hills, but nothing too strenuous. And according to my route planner, yesterday was supposed to be the hilliest part of the route to Athens. So I'm hoping the rest will be pretty cruisy because I'm not really up for any more massive hills after the last week or so in Albania and Macedonia and Kosovo and Croatia. They were pretty hilly and pretty tough. So I'm keen just to cruise into Athens, to be honest. Kind of take it easy. And so yesterday there were some decent hills, but nothing too scary. A bit of riding on the highway, which wasn't heaps of fun. But I started listening to a book which I actually started pretty close to the start of this trip. I forget which country it was exactly where I started it, but actually I started reading the book when I went to New Zealand for the 2-hour tour in February, and I was reading it on my Kindle, and my Kindle got flooded and stopped working, so I couldn't finish the book, which was disappointing because I was really enjoying it. And so I started listening to the audiobook, back at the start of this trip, maybe in Sweden or something. And I started it, no, I think it was Germany actually. Anyway, I started it and I was enjoying it, but it's quite, it's a book that you really have to listen to, and it's, it kind of, it's a book that you kind of have to take action when you listen to it. You can't just let it flow over you. And it's called Breaking the Habit of Being Yourself. And so I guess it's another kind of self-improvement book, which I seem to gravitate towards. And it's quite interesting. So I was listening to that yesterday. I'm trying to get back into that again. Hopefully I'll finish that by the time I get to Athens. We haven't got anything else to listen to now anyway, so that'll be it. I'm getting pretty sick of my music. So I was listening to that on the highway, and then around lunchtime I was pulling off to a little town to try and find something to eat, and this was around 2 o'clock, so I think I kind of missed the rush hour for everything because everything was basically closed. Even the supermarket in this little town was closed, and it was Thursday afternoon. So I guess here they have siestas as well, because from 2 o'clock everything was closed. I went past a little cafe and there was a lady sitting at the front having a cigarette, and I asked if they were open, and she wasn't really sure, but she asked me if I wanted a coffee, and I said, yeah, sure. Um, and then she asked her if she had any food, and she wasn't really sure, and she actually put me on the phone to her niece, I think it was, and her niece could speak English, and then anyway, she ended up making an omelette for me, which was really good, and I had a cappuccino, and I was quite lucky, I think, because as soon as I finished eating and I paid, the lady locked up the cafe and she went home. So I think she kept it open just for me, which was really nice of her, because otherwise I would have been pretty hungry, because there wasn't really anything else open. And once I got back off the highway, back down onto the coast, which was just stunning, I was riding past all these little beach bars and hotels and restaurants and stuff, and everything was closed. So I guess it's a factor of the fact that it was the afternoon, and also because like the tourism season here is now finished. I think a lot of stuff is now closed, and I learned that because I was aiming to get to a campsite at the end of the day, and I was riding. I did stop to think a few times, like, do I actually want to go this far today? Like, I could just find somewhere a bit closer and chill on the beach for a couple of hours, go for a swim. But I was watching other people do that, and I just thought, you know what, like, I would much rather just ride my bike than lie on the beach. So I kind of like rekindled my joy of cycling yesterday, I think, because I just took it really easy, and it was just like cruising around the beach, and it was just really pleasant and enjoyable. And I just kind of realized, this is actually what I want to do. I don't want to just lie around on the beach. I want to ride my bike. That's why I'm here. So it was fun, and I had this like point where I was like picturing myself like arriving in Istanbul, and having someone take a photo of me and my bike on the bridge where you cross from Europe into Asia. And man, the emotion I felt when I was like imagining this was like pretty intense. I felt like goosebumps going through my body, and I was like, wow, like this is going to be quite an achievement when I've finished it. Anyway, so I was riding towards this campsite that I had picked out, and I got there around just before 6:00, and it was closed. So at that point I was like, well, alright, I guess I'm going to be wild camping tonight. So I rode into town of Preveza, I think it is, which was a little bit off route actually, but I wanted to go check it out because it looked like it was on like a nice little like peninsula. So I went there, and there was a really beautiful like marina with all these yachts lined up, and found a nice restaurant to have dinner facing the ocean, which was really cool. And then I kind of didn't get to sit around for too long because it was getting dark and I needed to find somewhere to sleep. So I set out again as the sun was going down. Luckily it goes down about 7:15 here, so it's going down a bit later, and it's coming up a bit later as well. The sun came up about 7:30 this morning, and so I rode for about 20 minutes, and actually I was pretty lucky to find a little like patch of empty land behind like a hedge and some trees and stuff next to someone's property, and I kind of pitched my tent behind some trees so no one could see me, and that was all good. So had a bit of a restless night because I was hearing some dogs barking and stuff, and I wasn't sure if they were barking at me, but there was, in the end it was fine, and I was pretty close to a road, so there was quite a bit of traffic, and woke up a few times. But anyway, I survived. No one found me. My tent was wet this morning, but that's okay. And now I'm back on the road. I don't know how far we'll get today again, but I don't know. Maybe another 70, 80 kilometers or something, depending how flat it is. I think it should be fairly flat, so should be alright. I'll take it pretty easy. Like I said, I'm just cruising to Athens at this point, I think. One other thing happened yesterday. Anna, the German girl from the other campsite, she messaged me. But she's not going to be in Greece until maybe the end of the week, so I'm not sure if I'll see her. But we'll see what happens. Cheers.